Good day, viewers. You are welcome back to the channel, Tindanious Maths and Science Tutorials. We are still treating transformation of functions. If this is your first time, kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment for interesting videos. We have questions on the board. From my previous lectures, we had solved this, but we realized we were focusing on the vertical or the x coordinates of whatever we're given in question. But this time around, we want a question where we can also apply the principles or the rules on the x coordinates. All right. Okay. So giving coordinates of A. Okay. So A with set of points 6, 10. B a point on the curve of y equals f of x. Okay, so A, this is the coordinate of A, and y is equal to f of x. And the question reads, find the image of A under the transformation. We have f of x plus 2, f, then they have f of x minus 2, f of 2x, f of x on 2, f of negative x. So we have this as usual. We know that here x is equal to negative 2. So we are going to shift to the left, right? Horizontal shift to the left by a unit of 2, all right? So we're giving coordinates of A to be 6, 10. So if I want to find the image of A, it becomes A prime. Then, because we are shifting to the left, okay, so, and it is horizontal shift. So 6 here is my horizontal. So we have the x is horizontal, y is vertical. So our emphasis is going to be on the x, which is the 6. So moving to the left, we have to subtract, okay? So I have my 6 minus 2 because it's negative, all right? Then comma, I have my 10 over here. So therefore A prime, that's the image of A becomes 4, 10. As simple as that. So this is the first question. And the second question is f of x minus 2. So when you set this to 0, x minus 2 is equal to 0. I have x is equal to 2. Is that not so? So that means to the right, since it's positive. Is that not so? So we have A, which has been given to us as 6, 10. So the image of A becomes A prime. Then I have 6 over here. Because we are moving to the right, horizontal, shift to the right by a unit of positive 2. It's positive, so we have to add it, okay? Then comma, I have my 10. So I have A prime. That's the image of A becomes 8, then Then 10. For the third one, f of 2x. When you have something like this, what you do is, you try and look out for the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x is 2. Then, after identifying the coefficient of x, we'll find the reciprocal of 2. So the reciprocal of 2 is Is 1 over 2. You get it that way. So it's like I have f then of, let's say, y then z this way. Okay, so I'll focus on this. So since I have y, the scale factor becomes the reciprocal of this. The inverse of y becomes 1 over of y. So for horizontal stretch and what have you, this is what we are going to do over here. So here, from here, the scale factor, which is my k, is equal to the reciprocal of the 2 is 1 over 2. Do you get that way? So now the image of A with coordinates 6, 10. So the image of A becomes A prime, then we have my 6. Because this is horizontal stretch, okay, horizontal stretch, we are going to multiply. And so whenever you hear vertical stretch, we are going to do multiplication, okay, and vertical shrinkage, we are going to do what, or vertical compression, we are going to do what, multiplication, okay, different from you moving upwards and downwards, all right, or moving to the left, horizontal shift to the left, horizontal shift to the right, you just do addition and subtraction, all right. So this, I have my 6, and this is horizontal, so 6, so I have 6, then times half, then comma, I'll maintain my y coordinate. So I have a prime to be 3, comma what, comma 10, as simple as that. You realize that when we had a whole number, you see first it was 6, and then it reduced to 3. So from here, you don't need to memorize. You realize that whenever I have a whole number in x, okay, and so the transformation is going to be horizontal. This one is not, it wasn't stretched. You see, it's rather compressed. So this one is what? Horizontal compression. And you can see you can see the outcome, the results. You get it that way, all right. So what happens here is what is a fraction. It's just the opposite of what, of the vertical. Here for vertical, it would have been what? It would have been vertical stretch instead of what? Shrinkage. Here it has been shrink. You get it that way, yeah. So shrinkage, or it has been compressed. So for IV, we have f of x over 2. All right. So here the coefficient of the x is half. Okay, is half. Now the reciprocal of half is 2. Do you get it? And the reciprocal of 2 is half. So the reciprocal of half is 2. So we're giving a with coordinates 6, 10. The image of a becomes a prime. Then I was given 6, right? So I have my 6. Then times the scale factor, which is what? Which is my k, 2. Then times 2. Then comma, I have my 10 over here. So a prime, the image of a becomes what? 6 to 12. Then comma, I have what? My 10. As simple as that. Then the last one I have, you know that when you have a with coordinates x, y, and we are doing reflection in the x-axis, this becomes the x-axis. We maintain the x and we negate what? The y. This is what? For my x-axis. But for my y-axis, if I have a with coordinates x, y, for y-axis, I will negate the x and I'll maintain what? My y. This way, you get it that way. So here the question is f of negative x. You realize that x has been negated, is that not so? If x has been negated, what does it mean? It means we are going to do our reflection in the y-axis. So here will be reflection in the y-axis. Okay, so it becomes, we're giving a with coordinates 6, then 10. So the image of a becomes, instead the y-axis, we are going to negate the x. So here will be negated, negative 6, then comma, I'll maintain my y, which is 10. As simple as that. Viewers, this is how the questions are being solved. You get it that way? Alright, so let's consider the last question. Let's consider this question. Given the graph of y equals m of n, state the transformation on y to give this. So we have h equals negative m, that's negative n plus 4. State the transformation. So this one, what are we going to do? By self-intuition, let's assume here is, still you have y is equal to m of n. So you can assume this is even your x and this is your f. You get that f of x. They are just trying to manipulate you. It's just the same thing. So if here is x, and x has been negated. So if you negate x, that means you are doing your reflection in the y. You see, on the y-axis. You get it that way. So this becomes what? So first I have reflection in the y-axis, or reflection in the line x is equal to 0. Then 2, what can I observe? This time around, here you have f of then x, then negative is here. You get it that way. So this time around, I am negating y. So if I'm negating y, it means what? Reflection in the x-axis. So you have reflection, so because of the negative, okay, so this one is because of the negative n. So this one, reflection in the x-axis, because of the negative what? M. Then what can we observe again? You are done with it, you are done with that. You can see this, +4, vertical shift, right? So this is vertical shift. So vertical shift, or upwards by 4 units. As simple as that. Vertical shift upwards by 4 units. All right. Now we have situations where we are going to blend horizontal and vertical shift, and that becomes what? Very, very cumbersome. It becomes very difficult, and that's where students at large find problems over there. All right, students, subscribers, viewers, we've considered functions, that's transformation of functions, where we laid emphasis on the horizontal component and the vertical. This time around, we are going to mix up horizontal and vertical. So you may be given a function where you can apply either vertical shift, horizontal compression, vertically upwards, vertically downwards, moving to the right, that's horizontal shift to the right, horizontal shift to the left, all incorporated in one function, and even reflection in the y-axis, reflection in the x-axis, a whole lot. And this is the stage where most problems get stuck because of what? Because of the mixture of the whole concept what involved. So we have questions like this. This involves what? The mixture. Do you get it that way? Yeah. So, and I hope you are going to understand this because we've already started from the basis. So if you are new here, kindly visit my previous lectures on transformation of functions. Everything is well explained geometrically and mathematically. All right. So for questions like this, give me a whole function. So let's say y is equal to this. Do not panic. All right. What can you see over here? Look at this expression. B is here. B is also here. It's common. So that calls for what? Factorization. So I have my y to be equal to a, then f. I have, if I factorize the common term out, I have b, then open brackets, then I will enclose this and that. So I have x minus, and I have what? My h over here. Is that also like this? Then I have what? My constant what? K. Alright. Now the first thing to do, please take note of this. The first thing to do is focus on this. Focus on this. After the factorization, the common term, focus on that. Do you get that? And before that, you have to focus on the polarity assumed by the B. So this, I have B over here. Okay. So you begin with this. So this will be my first. my first thing to tackle. Then I'll come here. This will be my second, okay, thing to tackle. And this will be the third thing to tackle. And lastly, this will be what? The fourth thing to tackle. Do you get it that way? So I'll give you a question where I will intentionally place a negative here or both. Do you get it that way? And that will alter the steps a little. Alright. So first of all, because we are tackling B, you will find the scale factor for B. Okay, so we have something like this. The scale factor becomes 1 over B. The absolute value of B. Always. So if here is 2, the scale factor becomes what? 1 over 2. Okay, so that is what our first thing, the key. So the coefficient of the closed bracket over here, the parenthesis, is B. And you have to find what? The reciprocal of B. So it will be 1 over the absolute value of B. So if here were to be negative, I will still have this. I will ignore the negative and take what? The positive. That's what we mean by what? Absolute value. Okay. Then, after this, you'll be given a point. Let's say A, then you have S, Y. Okay, you'll be given this. So, whatever you do to each step, it will have effect on the coordinates given in question. Okay, so this might end up changing to, let's say, negative X or negative Y or both. Okay, depending on the question at hand. So viewers, I will end here, and when I meet you in the next lectures, I will give you a proper question where we are going to apply the first principle, the second, the third, the fourth, and beyond measures. Thank you for your time. Keep safe.